Hi there, it's May 21st and time for Proverbs 21. The Proverbs. Right. Tomorrow we'll have some that we need to memorize the last 3 days, but let's do these. I don't know, he wastes the heart. A king's heart is like a stream of water in the hand of Adonai. He directs it wherever he wants. Luke. 2. All the ways man seem right in his own eyes, but Adonai weighs the heart. Right? Another word for heart is your motives. Okay? The Lord weighs your heart. Right? You can say you're doing something for this reason, right? I am feeding people in the poor to give back to the Lord, right? But the Lord knows if you're actually doing it just to get clicks on YouTube because you're going to take the whole thing on your phone, okay? Just one example. You should still give to the poor, but leave your phone at home, okay? Leave it in your pocket so the Lord knows what you're doing and nobody else. That's where the reward lies. Yeah. 3. To do righteousness and justice is more acceptable to Adonai than sacrifice. Right? To do righteousness and justice, right? It's more acceptable than your gifts and your money. Right? Important. Or haughty eyes and a proud heart. The lamp of the wicked is sin. Lamp of the wicked. You know what lamp is? That's your human spirit, right? Said yesterday that, right, that God uses your human spirit as a light to look into your heart and soul. Plans of the diligent surely lead to gain, but all who are hasty only come to loss. Right? Plans of the diligent, slow and steady, doing it right. Right? Who are hasty come to loss. Right? There's a note over here. He that goeth rashly about his business and without counsel. Right? Just jump into something without doing the research. You're going to lose. Right? 6. Getting treasures by a lying tongue is like a fleeting vapor for those who seek death. Okay? And this goes on a lot. Okay? Getting treasures by a lying tongue. Violence and ruin of the wicked. The violence of the wicked sweeps them away because they refuse to act justly. That's happening, right? They just keep piling lies on top of lies, thinking they can get away with it, but the violence of the wicked sweeps them away. Right? Verse 8. The way of the guilty is crooked, but the conduct of the pure is upright. Okay? Pretty basic, right? 9. It is better to live on a corner of a roof than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. It seems like Solomon wrote a lot of these, okay, but you got to remember Solomon had 700 wives, okay? There's no way you could keep all of those healthy, okay? All of those happy, because a wife is supposed to be your closest confidant, your helper, your mate, okay? You can't have 700 of them. It just doesn't work. Somebody's going to feel left out, right? And a wicked soul craves evil. His neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. Wicked soul. 11. When a mocker is punished, the naive become wise. When a wise person is instructed, he gains knowledge. Okay? That's worth a highlight. Why not? Okay? When the scorner is punished. Right? Proverbs 19:25. I said that there too. Right? If you see a whole group of protesters causing trouble and breaking things, right? The police will go in and arrest, right? The top 10, or so. Heaviest one. And the other ones will say, I better get out of here before I get arrested too, right? They become wise. I don't belong here. Right? When a wise person is instructed, he gains knowledge. Okay? Wise people will always listen to you. Okay? Well, the righteous one considers the house of the wicked, throwing the wicked down to their ruin. Considers. As over here, the righteous teacheth the house of the wicked, but God overthroweth the wicked for their evil. Right? Consider the house of the wicked. Teacheth, there's a note here. Though the godly admonish them both by words and example of life, yet the wicked will not amend until God destroys them. Right? That's long for that, isn't it? 13. Whoever shuts his ears to the cry of the poor will also cry and not be answered. You don't help the poor. Shut your ears, you don't see them. When your time comes, and it will come, you will not be answered. Hey, this is not necessarily a good thing, but a gift in secret soothes anger, and a bribe given secretly fears rage. To do pleasure with the angry man pacifieth him. Right? A gift in secret, that's a bribe, okay? If you're bribing somebody, you're not telling somebody, and you hope nobody finds out. Somebody's angry, sometimes a gift will pacify them. Maybe, right? 15. Doing justice brings joy to the righteous, and terror to those who do evil. Doing justice. I like doing justice. Brings joy to the righteous. You know? I got these righteous. We have it. We make those green. This one green too. All the righteous ones together. Right? If you're seeking righteousness, you go through all the Proverbs and put all the righteous verses together. And you'll have a new chapter about how to be righteous, right? 16. Whoever strays from the path of wisdom ends up in the congregation of the dead. That's not where you want to be. 17. Whoever loves pleasure becomes poor. Whoever loves wine and oil will not be rich. All right. A lot of people who come into sudden riches, they like pleasure. Right? They love pleasure. So they buy big cars and big houses and fancy clothes and right, have parties and booze everywhere. Pretty soon they're poor, right? Instead of taking the money and putting it away and living your life comfortably. The wicked is a ransom for the righteous and the faithless for the upright. Okay? This was a strange verse to me for a long time. There's a note over here. God shall cause that to fall on their own heads, which they intended against the just, by delivering the just and putting the wicked in their places. Right? Wicked people want to destroy righteous. Right? God will put them in the place of the righteous. Okay? It even says in other parts of the Bible that he created the evil for the day of judgment for that very reason. Yeah. Here's another one. It's better to live in a desert land than with a quarrelsome, worrisome wife. You can fix that, okay, if you have one wife and you take care of her, okay? 20. Precious treasure and oil are in a wise person's dwelling, but a foolish person devours all he has. Treasure and oil, right? Do you save, you stock up? It's like these people we were reading about just a few verses up that like their lavish living and spend all their money on parties and booze and things that will decay, right? And then it's all gone, right? Wise person Precious treasure and oil are in a wise person's home, right? But a foolish devours all he has. Okay, that goes right along with this. We can find it now. You know, I can't find it. Get a card, righteous, shots, gift. There it is. Whoever loves pleasure becomes poor. Whoever loves wine and oil will not be rich, right? Your precious treasure and oil are in a wise person's dwelling. Right? But a foolish person devours all he has. 21. Whoever pursues righteousness and mercy finds life, prosperity, and honor. Right? Righteousness and mercy. Okay? So there followeth after righteousness and mercy, right? That's what we're doing. We're pursuing righteousness. Mercy, right? God is merciful to you. You should be merciful to everybody else, the same way God is merciful to you. Right? And it even says, how you forgive others is how God will forgive you. That should scare you. Okay? 22. A wise person scales the city of warriors and brings down the stronghold in which they trust. Right? Brains over bronze, right? Wisdom overcometh strength and confidence in worldly things. Right? Wisdom is the strongest thing you can have. Okay? You notice you get a big gang or a city or a lot of warriors. There's always one little person, very smart, that's leading them all. Right? Okay, here's a very good one. Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul out of troubles. There you go. Most of the time, probably 99% of the time, the best thing to do is just keep your mouth shut, right? It's an important one, okay? 24, a proud and haughty man, mocker is his name, acts with overbearing pride, okay? Now we know enough now that God hates pride and loves humble. Mocker, they say pride, and all these things kind of go together, you know, pride, mocker, proud, haughty, conceited, arrogant, boastful, okay? Doesn't like those things. Overbearing pride, right? Somebody who brags so much you can't stand to be around him. Okay, 25. A slacker's craving will kill him because his hands refuse to work. You know somebody that's that lazy? They're out there. And it continues. All day long he craves greedily, yet the righteous one gives and does not hold back. This is one thing, 25 and 26. The desire of the slothful slayeth him. He thinketh to live by wishing and desiring all things, but take no pain to get it. Right. Dreamers. All day long he craves greedily. Right. And we will. The righteous one gives and does not hold back. 27. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with evil intent? You know what they call these today? Philanthropists. Okay, there are a lot of rich people that philanthropy. They want the world to look kindly on them. Okay, they have evil intent. Okay? I mentioned a name talking about this 4 or 5 months ago, and they got banned from YouTube for a while for doing that. So we won't mention any names, but you can think of somebody that goes out and claims to be doing a lot of good when he's actually, when they're actually trying to harm people. Okay. Evil intent. 28. A false witness will perish, but a man who hears will speak forever. Says, he may boldly testify the truth that he hath. who hears, testify of the truth, okay? One who hears the truth will speak forever. Okay? 29, a wicked man puts on a bold face, but the upright man considers his ways. Hardeneth his face. Right? Wicked people tend to be mean. They try to be overbearing and to scare you. Okay? The righteous man considers his way. Okay, this is a very important one. There is no wisdom, there is no understanding, there is no counsel against Adonai, against the Lord. Right? There's no wisdom, no understanding, no counsel against the Lord. Okay? If somebody is speaking against the Lord, there's no wisdom, there's no understanding, there's nothing to be learned. Okay? At 31, I threw this in here. A horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory comes from Adonai, from the Lord. There you go. That's Proverbs 21. Let's put these few righteous ones together first, right? And one day I'm going to put all those together from all the chapters and have a whole new chapter to read. Right? The righteous one considers the house of the wicked, throwing the wicked down to their ruin. Right? It says over here, teacheth, and there's a note, right? Though the godly admonish them both by words and example of life, yet the wicked will not amend till God destroy them. Considers, which means you try and teach them truth and you show them a way by example, right? They won't learn. God will throw them down. Okay? Doing justice brings joy to the righteous and terror to those who do evil. Right? Doing justice, proclaiming the truth. It's important. And this one, the wicked is a ransom for the righteous, and the faithless for the upright. Right? God will put an evil person to pay for the evil things, right, that you get blamed for. And whoever pursues righteousness and mercy finds life, prosperity, and honor. Isn't that what you want out of life? Life, prosperity, and honor. Okay? You get honored by being humble, not by being prideful. Okay? Pridefulness, arrogance, boastfulness never brings, right? Proud and haughty man, mocker is his name, right? That never brings honor. Okay? That brings contempt. And the righteous one gives and does not hold back. Okay? You always give. If you always give, you'll always get more than you gave every single time. Okay? Every single time. There you go. That's the righteous ones. What else we got up here? 2 is highlighted. All a man's ways seem right in his own eyes, but Adonai weighs the heart. Right? If you have ulterior motives, right, what you're doing may seem right, but Adonai weighs the heart. Looks at your motives. He sees it. And you end up being one of these people down here. I can find it. Should have highlighted it, I guess. We'll come across it, right? The Lord weighs your heart. Always have the right motives. Okay? What you're doing should glorify God and not yourself. Okay? Ask you that question: am I glorifying me or am I glorifying God? Okay? Okay, 5 is highlighted. Plans of the diligent surely lead to gain, but all who are hasty come only to loss. Right? Slow and steady, plan ahead, get wise counsel, right, before you do any endeavor. Okay? 11. When a mocker is punished, the naive become wise. When a wise person is instructed, he gains knowledge. Right? When a scorner is punished. Proverbs 19:25. Right? We said that yesterday, right? Right? You punish a mocker, those around him learn a lesson too. Right? Okay. 13, whoever shuts his ears to the cry of the poor will also cry and not be answered. Okay? The poor are put there for you to help them, okay? For you to glorify God. That's why they're put there. 14, a gift in secret soothes anger, and a bribe given secretly, fierce rage. Bribes. Right. Get an angry person to give them a gift and it pacifies them. Is it good? I don't know. It talks about bribes usually in negative ways all over Proverbs. A bribe is something you pay somebody to do something that they would normally not do. Okay? That's what a bribe is. If someone's going to vote a certain way on a bill or something, you don't have to bribe them. You know they're going to vote that way. If you want them to go against their very nature and their constituents and vote another way, you will bribe them in secret, right? Give them money to vote the other way. Where did I get all that from there? Right. Bribe. 15, doing. Okay, we did the righteous ones, okay? Righteous ones. 23, whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul out of troubles. The wisest advice in, right? Seek the Lord first, guard your mouth and tongue. Right. Most of the time, saying nothing is the best thing to do. Okay. 27, the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with evil intent? There's so much of this going on right now. Okay. Wicked people pretending to do good things when they have evil intent. Yeah. And 30, very important. There is no wisdom. There is no understanding. There is no counsel against the Lord Adonai. None. Okay. Get that all in the Bible. So there you go. That's Proverbs 21. Okay. Stay tuned later. I think we are starting John chapter 7 today through the New Testament in a year. Give us a like if you think about it, and later we'll continue. See you next time.